Okay, so let me introduce the second version of the chain rule. So if we're taking the derivative of a composite function, f of g of x, what we're going to do is that we're going to take the derivative of the outside function, so we get f prime of g of x inside, with g of x untouched, so we don't take the derivative of that. We just take it outside, and then we multiply it by f prime of g of x. So essentially, it's the derivative of the outside function with the inside untouched times the derivative of the inside function. So the first step for us is to find and basically break down the original function into two separate functions. So find the two separate functions. So I'm going to call the little function here x squared plus 5 g of x. So that will be my inside function. Now, if that's the case, what is my outside function? The outside function f of x will be just, well, if that's g of x, f of x will be just x to the power of 8. Okay? That way, if I have f of g of x, look at that. I get x squared plus 5 to the power of 8. Great. Now, let's find g prime of x. And g prime of x will be quite simple. All we need to do is to take the derivative of the inside function. So, g prime of x will be, now what is the derivative of x squared? Just 2x, right? The derivative of a constant is 0. So g prime of x is just 2x. Now, we can look for the derivative of f prime of g of x. And to do that, I'll just actually find f prime of x first. And I have f of x here. So f prime of x will be just, well, I can take a look at x to the 8, bring down the 8, 8x. Now I subtract a 1 from the 8, I get 7. So 8x to the power of 7. That's f prime of x. But we're interested in f prime of g of x. And now to do that, I can just take the g of x, which is right here, the x squared plus 5, and plug it in. Look at that. So this right here is f prime of g of x. So we needed f prime of g of x times g prime of x. The first portion is just this right here. We have 8 times x squared plus 5 to the power of 7. And we're multiplying that by just 2x, because that's just g prime of x. Now I can multiply the 8 and the 2, I get 16. I'll put the x before the parentheses here, so I get 16x times x squared plus 5 to the power of 7. And at this point, we're done. So my recommendation to you is that, of course, you can start trying the questions now. If not, take a look at a couple more examples, then try some practice questions. Good luck.